Hello everyone, this is Mayor Lionel Jordan bringing you another edition of the Mayor's Corner. Today I have a real treat for you. We've got Rhonda Adams from Ward 4, Position 1. She was elected in 2010 and she's just doing a fabulous job on the City Council. And she and I go back a ways at the University of Arkansas where we both worked there, and Rhonda still works there. So today I wanted to introduce you to Alderman Adams and let her just go through the stuff that she's wanting to do in Ward 4, and she's actually my representative, and it's just we've been friends for a long time. So Rhonda, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself and some of your plans for Ward 4 while you're a alderwoman.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a privilege to serve as an alderperson for the city of Fayetteville. It's quite an honor and a privilege, and I've really enjoyed the time. Like you said, I was just elected last November, so I began in January, and so it's been 8 months now, I guess, of a lot of meetings and a lot of demands on time, and maybe more than I thought. It's been a bit of a surprise, but I got involved in this because I wanted to represent my friends, my neighbors, and the entire city of Fayetteville in areas, particularly neighborhoods. I'm very interested in complete streets where we work together to make our city more walkable and more accessible for people who either choose not to drive a car, can't drive a car, may be confined to a wheelchair. We need to make a city that everyone can get around in. And so that was kind of where I began in my campaign. And what I found since then is that was already ongoing in bigger ways than I even knew about. So it's been fun. I'm on the street committee, and I have learned a lot there. And I'm on the nominating committee. And so that part has been fun this year, encouraging citizens to apply for positions and board vacancies, and then being a part of the team of council members that tries to match people up with their talents and get them more involved in our city government. And so it's been a real pleasure, and I just really enjoyed serving on the council.
Well, Rhonda, when we talk about walkable cities, we're talking about a lot of alternative transportation measures. I assume that's what you're talking about. So maybe you would like to tell the people a little bit about some of the alternative or more walkable communities, some of the ideas that you're interested in.
Well, I think most of us are already very familiar with our parks. We have more than 70 parks in town, and great places for us to go recreate and have our children play ball and swim at the pool, or things like that we can all easily just take part in. But the trail system is a wonderful alternative transportation plan. Information's all on the website for citizens who want to go out there and look at that long-term master trail plan. But it really does provide access to things that are needed. It's more than just recreation. It is recreation for a lot of people, but I think it's important when we think about the value of that we remember we have, my husband and I had dinner Saturday night with a professor who doesn't own a car and rides his bicycle on our trails. And so it's a very important way to give an opportunity to people who want to ride a bike or can't drive a car.
Okay, when we talk about the street committee, what are some of the things that you look at on the street committee, and maybe share that with some of the people?
That's been a hard assignment for me, Mayor. My family would say I don't know north from south most of the time. So learning the layout of the city, and the plans for the streets in the future, looking ahead to 20 or 30 years, talking with citizens after we go to a street committee meeting and we visit about the long-term plans. We're in the process now of adopting a new master street plan, as you know, and then hearing from citizens whose property will be affected, possibly, looking back at why council and an administration in the past made a plan and then how we need to change it for future. It's bigger than I thought it would be when I got on there. There's a lot to learn and a lot to consider and a lot of input from citizens, which is fun being on the council to hear the input from citizens. But it's also difficult when you realize sometimes that you're disappointing people. You're disappointing the very people who voted for you because you don't agree that that street plan, that it's not exactly the way they want it to be. So the street committee's been very interesting. Now we're getting our first roundabout in Fayetteville. That's going to be fun. watch out, drivers, right? We have to learn
We're looking at
the flyover.
Yeah.
So to hear from our great engineering department at those regularly scheduled meetings and to listen to those plans and how they're funded, that's been an interesting learning curve for me. Funding coming from all kinds of places, right? Not just the city, but the state and the federal dollars. And so the street committee's been very interesting and more difficult to serve on, I think, than I thought when I first went to that first meeting.
It's a tough one. I chaired that committee when I was an alderman, so I understand.
Thank you for doing that.
Let's shift gears just a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the nominating committee. So what do you look at on the nominating committee? How does that all work and your part that you play on the nominating committee? Tell the folks a little bit about the nominating committee.
Well, with the 4 of us on the committee, we're appointed by your administration, and we come together once a quarter and look at the vacancies, and we have advertised ahead of time for citizens to apply. I always make a point at Ward 4 meetings to encourage my Ward 4 citizens to get in there and apply. They fill out an application, which is available on the city's very well done website, I might add, and it's easy to apply. I directed someone I work with to that website. She was very interested. She printed off and brought it to me and said, but it tells me to list my qualifications. And I said, you say you love animals and that you volunteer. And so you don't have to have a degree in, you don't have to be a veterinarian to serve on the Animal Services Board. You have to have an interest in our city and in working to make our city better and to be involved in our government. So I like that. Encouraging citizens to get involved and then sitting on the committee with my fellow council members and interviewing. We interview about 5 minutes each for the people who've applied. Sometimes only one person has applied, but sometimes 4 or 5 or 6 do, and that can be a difficult decision to make. But we always encourage people to come back the next time because maybe the one who was selected is there for the 2nd or 3rd time and is still interested. So that's a really fun, matching up people's talents and skills and interests and their dedication to volunteerism, because it can be a time-taking activity to volunteer for those boards and commissions. So it's been fun.
I know that you're interested in connecting with the people, and I know that you have Facebook and you have different blogs. You want to talk to the people a little bit about how you believe in making the contact with the people and how they can contact you, and I know you do Ward 4 meetings and things of that nature. So you just let the people know how your interest in that and how they can contact you and that sort of thing.
I've probably known around town for talking too much, so it's been really good to try to find ways to listen to people more. It is something I've really been working on. So when I first got into this, I worked with a local company, Taylor Mac, right off the square here, and they helped me set up the first thing I did, which was a website so that I could get my information out to the citizens. But then we started working from there to develop the Facebook page, and then now I'm Twittering, and they've got my Twitter account hooked up to my website now, so anybody who goes to adamsward4.com can see my Twitter postings there. And I have a blog, and the blog invites people to talk back to me. So if I post something out there, try to post the city announcements out there, one more place for people to find things that your staff does such a good job of putting out their closings for holidays, for solid waste pickup or whatever, that people might, just one more opportunity for people to get the word. But then what I've tried to focus on in the last few months is listening back, giving people more of an opportunity to get information back to me. So my email account, my Twitter account, my Facebook account, my blog, my phone, and of course what I like the best, and that's the one-on-one, walking through the neighborhood and visiting people. But the social media is very important, I think. And Twitter I like a lot because you can do it so quickly. You can just pop that one sentence out really fast and hit the send button from my cell phone or from my computer. So it's been fun to get involved in more social networking like that.
Well, what about your Ward 4 meetings? Tell us about that. How does those exactly work, and when are they, and what time are they?
Well, I think you started that, Mayor. You did, didn't you?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
I really think it's a very important, another opportunity for city officials to hear from the citizens. And we meet the last Monday night of every month. This month, your town hall will be on that Monday night, and so we're going to encourage Ward 4 members to go to town hall meeting. But every month we meet, and Sarah Lewis, the other Ward 4 alderman, and I enjoy collaborating and working together to bring in guest speakers, and we base those invitations on what citizens have told us they're concerned about. So it might be some zoning issues, it might be a street construction issue, it might be a new development that's going in. We've invited animal services, whatever the citizens of Ward 4 have told us is kind of on their mind, then we try to bring someone in and give the citizens an opportunity to have FaceTime with city people who can explain it better than Sarah and I can. And so every last Monday night of the month, 7 o'clock at City Hall, we come together for about an hour, and everyone is invited, Ward 4 and anyone else who wants to come. And I think it's a great thing you started, and I had citizens in our ward who said, will you commit, if I vote for you, to continue to show up for the Ward 4 meetings and be a leader? I said, absolutely. And I really think it's just one more avenue to listen to and talk with our Fayetteville citizens.
And keep the people involved.
Yes. So I hope more people will come. It's a great opportunity.
So, is there anything you'd like to add before we close today?
No, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I really, really appreciate the opportunity to share with our citizens and with you.
Well, folks, today you've heard from Alderwoman Rhonda Adams, and she's from Ward 4, Position 1, and she's doing a fantastic job on the City Council. As I always tell people, I have been a fortunate mayor because I believe that I have the best staff and the best City Council and actually the best citizen of any mayor in the state. So it's you contact Rhonda. She's got Facebook, she's got telephone, she's got a Twitter account, and she'll be glad to listen to you, because at the end of the day, our job is to serve you. And so you contact her, and until I see you again, you have a great day. See you real soon.